on our series, Your Financial Breakdown or Financial Breakthrough can almost be guaranteed. The reason I say almost is if you implement the principles, then it's guaranteed to work for you. If you ignore the principles, then it's guaranteed to work against you. Hello, somebody. I was reading this morning, I think it was Warren Buffett that said there's two rules when it comes to money. And one, learn how to abide by them, or number two, stay a slave to them for the rest of your life. Wow, wow, wow. So, anyway, we've been talking about, again, your financial breakthrough. We said, first of all, your financial breakthrough or breakdown is guaranteed when you understand if your money grows before you do, it will have to shrink back down to where you are, if not even further. So, you want to make sure you're growing, involved in personal development. You don't just want your money to grow. We said also, when you implement the breakthroughpreneur mindset, and that is without a breakthrough mindset, nothing in heaven or earth can help you. With a breakthrough mentality and mindset, nothing on earth can stop you. Come on, somebody. And a breakthroughpreneur is one who's so focused on providing a valuable product, service, or system to people for profit with pleasure that they're willing to break through any barrier that would try to hinder their success, whether it's an inside or outside barrier. We said number three, your financial breakthrough is guaranteed when you decide you will no longer be a slave to money or the system. Again, money is a terrible master, but a great servant. And so, my friend, a master is what you and who you work for, but a servant is what works for you. Have you learned to put money to work for you yet? Number four, we said when you commit to circulating instead of spending or saving, all right? When you commit to circulating money instead of just spending and saving money, the talents, remember in Matthew 25, 14 through 30. We don't want to be an unprofitable servant who took what he had and hid it. No, we want to be a profitable servant that takes two, makes two more, or takes five and makes five more. And so we talked about you got to prioritize to profit. Matthew 6:33, right? We said number five, your financial breakthrough is guaranteed when you replace the poverty programming and reprogram a prosperity mindset. That's right, my friend. See, we've all been programmed to financial failure and to be a financial slave, but through personal growth. And I applaud many of you. Here we're on number seven, the seventh week, and many folks have dropped off. I mean, it's amazing. You know, people get so excited. The first, like, wow, I'm learning so much. And after a while, it's like, oh, well, it's taking too long. And well, anyway. Hey, number six, when you realize that, oh, this is so important. When you realize that time is not money and that profits are way better than wages. Again, when you realize that time is not money and that profits are way better than wages. Like one guy said, I never bought anything with money, only pieces of my time that I can never get back, and that will never have been what it was worth. So we don't want high effort and low or no return trap, which we've been sold a bill of goods. So instead of the high effort, low or no return trap, we want a low effort and a high return system. So number seven, we talked about when you learn to go where the financial puck is going instead of where it has been. And the financial puck is going, obviously, the way of AI and cryptocurrency or digital currency, right? And so you want to be an early adapter, right? So anyway, we talked about number eight, your financial breakthrough is guaranteed when you stop focusing on making money and focus on creating momentum, right? And so that's why if you notice, you just see, I'm just here, I'm just Saturday, I'm here, I do the training, right? And now there'll be a time when I'm speaking somewhere, but I'm just here, right? So one of you show up, five of you show up, 25 show up. Guess what? I'm here. I do what why? I'm focused. See, I stay focused on the activities that create momentum, because once you create momentum, momentum will automatically create the money. But if you go after trying to create money first, then the money may not come, right? And you'll be tempted to do things that are wrong. So you got to focus on just being consistent with those activities that create momentum. We said the next thing, your financial breakthrough or breakdown is guaranteed when you realize and rectify your biggest bill. And it's not the mistakes, although that's a big one. It's not the housing. It's not the taxes. but actually it's what life is charging you, the difference between not learning and not doing what you could have learned and what you could do to make the money you know you're really worth. And remember, we gave the example, if you say you're worth $1 million a year, and last year, let's say you made $100,000, then life is charging you $900,000 for every year that you don't learn or implement what you need to do to make that $1 million. And I'm telling you, we need to raise our standards, right? So again, and the way this crazy world tries to get us off track as they talk about, well, you don't be part of those get rich quick schemes. Well, first of all, if you break down the word scheme comes from the word schematic, and schematic is system. Hello, somebody. So think about that. They're saying you don't want to be part of this get rich quick system, right? Well, so I always say, now I'm against get rich quick schemes, just like I'm against never get rich jobs, right? So I'm for a get rich quicker system, right? Because the way that most people are getting rich is way too slow. We said your financial breakthrough is guaranteed when you operate out of faith or on faith instead of fear, right? So some of the people don't understand Proverbs 10:24. The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire or the faith of the righteous shall be granted. So see, a mind impregnated with fear can only make bad decisions, but whenever a mind or spirit is impregnated with faith, it can only produce great results. And so that's why I speak faith, and that's why I speak the word to y'all, because I want you to be impregnated with faith that'll bring forth good results. Is that good or is that good? We said also, when you learn to implement the breakthrough 2-paragraph wealth system, and that is, we got to exchange our limiting beliefs for God's liberating beliefs. We got to exchange the poverty mindset for a prosperity mindset. And my wife and I, we never took a vow of poverty. We took a vow of proper biblical prosperity, right? And so again, you want to find out how rich people believe and learn to believe like they believe and do like they do. Find out how poor people believe and then find out what they do and do just the opposite. We also said your financial breakthrough and breakdowns guarantee when you understand the power of leverage, duplication, and immediate implementation. See, hard work versus smart work. Hard work is always going to lose to smart work, right? So regular folks learn to work hard. Folks of abundance, we work hard at working smart. Hello, somebody. And that is, you want to learn to be a CLO, Chief Leveraging Officer. Okay. Now, real quick, we said also when you learn to copy the right cats, right? So it's okay, we said, to be a copycat as long, Dr. Ford, as you're copying the right cat while you're on your way, Maria, to being your own authentic cat. Ooh, I like that. I think I want to say that again. We said it's okay to be a copycat, again, as long as you're copying the right cat while you're on your way to becoming your own authentic cat. And so the Dr. Breakthrough authentic cat is a mixture of so many other folks that I modeled and learned this from this one. And this, the Bible says there's safety in a multitude of counselors, right? And so anyway, we said also your financial breakthrough or breakdowns guaranteed when you commit and decide to get your NBA. I said NBA. And your MBA, instead of just going to college to get your MBA, and that is Master of Business Administration. Because so many people with their MBA, Master of Business Administration, are suffering from another MBA. It's called mini bank account because they find themselves overqualified for a job. So we said you got to commit also and decide to get your NBA. That degree stands for never broke again. I'm telling you, if you take what I'm giving you and you implement it, you'll never be broke again. Come on, somebody. And again, we always said there's a big difference between being poor and being broke. Poor is a state of mind. I can't help that. Broke is a temporary inconvenience. And they say every millionaire was broke 2.5 times. Why? Because we take risk, right? Hey, number 15, your financial breakthrough or breakdown is guaranteed when you quit getting or following, JoJo, constructive criticism from folks who've never constructed what you would like to build. Even your own advice. Did you get that? when you quit getting or following constructive criticism from folks who've never constructed what you would like to build. That's even your own constructive criticism. See, many of you keep second guessing yourself and keep saying, well, I think I ought to. No. Find somebody who's been, again, a mentor. I keep saying is someone who's been where you haven't been, who's done what you haven't done, but then more importantly, who sees in you sometimes what you can't see in yourself, and it's going to help you to bring it out. See, whenever you find somebody like that, you better hold on. See, somebody said some things are good for it. Well, I get that on the next thing. Okay. So again, when you here's the one I want to hit on because I skipped over this. Here you go. Ready for this? When you understand the seriousness of your health, write that down. Your financial breakthrough or breakdown is guaranteed when you understand the seriousness of your health. Write this down. True health is wealth. Pardon me. See, so many people, here's what they do. They waste their health trying to get wealth. Pardon me. And then they turn around and try to buy back their health with their wealth. But oftentimes it's too late. Remember, well, let me say it again. Your financial breakthrough or breakdown is guaranteed, Sherry, when you understand the seriousness of your health. Health is your greatest wealth. And if you get sick, your lack of health will burn up all of your wealth. So if you understand, most people, CEOs of companies, are in the gym working out. Why? Not because they want to be buffed or anything else, because they understand, listen, they understand that if their health is not right and they can't run the business properly, their mind's not clear, they don't have the energy. And not only that, think about this. Other employees that they have are dependent on that business running properly. So they understand the seriousness. Well, you got to understand that your life is a business, my friend. And if you lose your health, you can't make wealth. That's why I keep talking about learning how to be a CLO, Chief Leveraging Officer. Remember, John Paul Getty said, I'd rather get 1% efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. Why? Because if something happens to me and all my income's based on me, I have no income, James. But he said, but on the other token, if I have 1% of my income based on what I do, and the rest or the bulk of my income is based on what the team does, if something happens to me, then I still can have wealth coming in. But you got to understand the seriousness of your health. So watch this. Health without wealth, write these three main principles again. Health without wealth is frustrating. Health, being healthy, strong, vibrant, without wealth, car being repossessed, house going in foreclosure. Health without wealth is frustrating. It's frustrating. Lights turned off, bills overdue. But you got great health, though. I mean, you're healthy. You got energy, but you have no wealth. So health without wealth is frustrating. But number two, wealth without health is futile. That means it means nothing. So again, wealth without health, health without wealth is frustrating, but wealth without health is futile. Like the Queen of England who lay dying and said, I'd give up every dime to get my health back. Steve Jobs, multi-billionaire, but dying of cancer, said, man, but I'd give up every dime to get my health back. So health, again, without wealth is frustrating, but wealth without health is futile. It means nothing. However, Dr. Breakthrough says health with wealth is fantastic. And that's what God wants for you. 3 John 2, beloved, I wish above all things, that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. Do you know a lot of times your ability to make money is hindered or helped by your health? If you have good health with vitality and energy and a clear mind, you can focus. See, money, did I give you my definition of money? Money is really nothing more than the result of an idea that has been implemented and marketed properly. Let me say it again. Money is nothing more than an idea that has been implemented and marketed properly. See, some of you have ideas, but you keep second guessing yourself. You don't believe in yourself, and you never do anything with that idea. And some of you have found out that your idea, listen, my friend, which is energy, which is power, it produces currency when you do the right thing. But because you didn't do the right thing, that currency, listen now, current went to somebody else, and now you saw somebody else that took your ideal, my friend, even though you never told them, they got your ideal and moved with it. And now, my friend, and you're left behind. So money is nothing more than an idea that has been implemented and marketed properly and consistently, right? So again, my friend, you got to understand your financial breakthrough or breakdown. I know so many people they were doing good financially and then lost everything. Why? Because they lost their health, my friend. And now it took all the money, all the wealth that they put up and stored up. It took all that trying to get their health back, my friend. Wow. Next thing. I said, when you really believe, well, I already gave you this one, but when you really believe and implement what the Bible teaches, I gave you that one. And then I said, when you quit just being a consumer and become a circulator, conqueror, and creator, because the master creator made it you and I to be mini creators or co-creators and gave us a mandate to create. We said your financial breakthrough or breakdown is guaranteed when your outgo is less than your income. See, when your outgo is more than your income, that's your downfall. And so many people, my friend, are trying to impress people they don't like by spending money they don't have to buy things they don't need. Ooh, did you get that? I said, stop trying to impress people that you don't even like by spending money you don't even have to buy things you don't even really need. Come on now. So again, when your outgo is more than your income, that's your downfall. So you got to learn to live below your means, but most people are living beyond their means. And here's what happens. Some people making $50,000 a year, but they spend $60,000 a year beyond their means. Other people making $1 million a year, but they're spending $1.5 million. It's still beyond their means, still broke, busted, and disgusted. So again, my friend, you got to understand, again, if you don't understand the rules and laws of money, then you will be a slave to them, right? Next thing, your financial breakthrough or breakdown is guaranteed when you commit to being a product of the process. Remember, I taught on this in another session, but when you commit to being a product of the process, and that is, you got to commit to the process of being or feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. So again, you got to be committed. Let's see here. Let's see here. I think that's, okay, Kaisha. No, somebody I saw a new name. Okay, Alcatel, Joy, Tab 2, whoever you are. Anyway, but you got to be committed to get this now. You got to be committed to and through the process. So again, you got to be committed to and through the process of being bad, feeling bad, sometimes even doing bad. Now, I don't mean doing bad things, but doing bad at the thing that you're for as long as it takes to get good. So you got to be committed to and through the process, Jojo, of feeling bad, being bad, or doing bad for as long as it takes to get good. See, if you can make that kind of commitment, you can get good at anything. And part of that is you just got to be good at showing up. People talk about imposter syndrome and all that. Listen. All of us have gifts, talents, and abilities, and sometimes we have this natural ability, and it just takes a little bit of honing. But there's other things that's a struggle. You know what I found out? If you can just be committed. See, we've been so taught against financial principles. We've been programmed to be broke, busted, and disgusted. We've been programmed to like the crabs in the bucket, one crab to pull down anybody else that gets beyond us financially, instead of saying, hey, I'm coming out there with you. So I'm telling you, my friend, that's why I keep going over and over and over this. Why? Repetition is part of the key to learning. You got to understand this and get it down deep, not just so you can say, oh, I heard that, or I can quote that. Are you living that? Remember, I told you, you got to learn to read the book until you become the book. Hello, somebody. You got to learn to listen to the lesson till you become the lesson. So you got to be committed. And so many people are like, well, but this is new, or this is hard. Well, I'm not used to this. Like crypto, for instance. Like I'm telling you, people are like, well, I'm just not good at that. Okay, well, get good. Well, the only way to get good is you got to be bad. We started when you started off in this world, you and I, you don't even understand how genius you are and how powerful you are. But we were bad at everything. But guess what? We didn't know how to walk, talk. We didn't know how to hold our bowels or anything. We learned everything. We learned, we looked around, we listened to everybody, and then we started talking. Then we started walking. And by the way, the legs in the baby, a baby that's learning to walk, they say when that baby stands up and it falls and then it gets back up, listen, that's when the muscles in the legs are developed the most. And so the helicopter parent said, oh no, and try to pick her up. No, you're hindering the growth. No, God made a process. And sometimes it's like that financially. And see, some of you're trying to play safe and secure. And so you're missing the boat, my friend. You're missing the boat. No, you got to be committed to and through the process of being bad, James, feeling bad, May, or doing bad to yet, for as long as it takes to get good. And with that kind of commitment, you can get good at anything. But you got to give yourself more credit. You're a genius, my friend. You're a genius. You learned this stuff and you can learn this stuff. But don't use your mouth to say, I'm not good at that, because now you shut your brain off. Your mouth is programming your brain. So you got to learn, instead of saying, I'm not good at this or this is too hard, you got to learn to say, this is hard, but I'm going to learn it. I'm going to get it. You got to learn to say, I'm getting a little better every day. You got to learn. See, I'm saying you got to say that, my friend. Even when I was in the hospital with COVID, ICU, every day I was like, oh, get barely done. I'm getting stronger. And I would say it out loud. Why? Because faith cometh by hearing by the word. I would hear myself say it. I'm getting strong. I'm getting stronger. Of course, I had the thing on my mouth, but and sometimes I pull it off so I can hear myself a little bit. I'm getting stronger. Put it back on. But anyway, I'm saying you got to learn to program. We've been programmed to say, well, no, you're not good. No, I'm not. Don't say that. No, my friend. You got a powerful brain. The most powerful computer was designed from a part of a brain, not from the whole brain. So come on. Your financial breakthrough is guaranteed. You got to move on here. When you learn, y'all got seatbelts out there. Come on, Maria, put the seatbelt on now. Come on, Sherry. Come on, Dr. Ford. Well, I know you already got yours on. Here we go. Are you ready? When you learn to take calculated risk, because risk is the ledge that gives winners the edge. So your financial breakthrough or breakdown is guaranteed when you learn to take calculated risk, because risk is the ledge that gives winners the edge. So again, we said just make sure it's a calculated risk. So it's calculated in your favor, right? So you go out to Vegas to gamble, which I don't gamble, never have, but you go out to Vegas to gamble. It's a calculate. Guess what? It's in the house's favor. So they may let you win a little bit to suck you in so they can really get you. So just know it's calculated against your favor. Just know that. But when you find something that's calculated risk in your favor, see, remember I said there's a difference between employee mindset versus an entrepreneur, breakthroughpreneur, or kingdompreneur mindset. What's the difference? That's a great question. It's all based on two things: risk and reward. You see, Employee mindset focuses so much on the risk, they lose sight of the reward. Just listen to the way they talk. Yeah, well, what if it doesn't work? They're focused on the risk. Yeah, but what if, and their what if is always in the negative. Do you notice that? That's an employee mindset. And I got news for you. You and I were trained to be employees. See, when Rockefeller put this whole thing, the system into place with the schooling and the education, you know what he said? He said, I want to train a group of people to be good employees for my businesses and for the business tycoons. That's what this quote unquote educational system was set up to do. By the way, I told you before, I'll say it again. True education, any education that doesn't increase cognitive thinking, make you think. I hope I've been making you think, by the way. Create a change in your heart, movement in your feet, make you want to do something. And most importantly, money in your pocket is wasted information. The 12 years of regular schooling that I had, and then the 12 additional years of college education, 24 years, because people always say, man, for somebody so educated, you sure speak a lot against education. No, I don't speak against education. I speak against false education. So like Carter G. Woodson wrote the book, The Miseducation of the Negro. Everybody ought to read that book. Whether you're black or not, you ought to read that book, my friend, because again, you'll understand the power of that. Because I want to write a book called The Miseducation of the American when it comes to money. Because we've been miseducated, right? And so we actually have been programmed, and what they call education, I call indoctrination. Keisha, you getting that? I know you are, right? It's called indoctrination. And so what happens is when you and I understand the truth about money and the truth about things, and we get excited and we try to tell our family, we try to tell our friends, and God forbid if we try to tell our friends in church. Oh my goodness, they're like, oh no, no, no. I mean, the very people you think would be excited are the ones that are going to slap you back. And I mean, because again, there's like, no, 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 no. You're getting into one of those money schemes. Don't be chasing money now. And again, you can go out and get two jobs. The wife can have two jobs, husband have two jobs, and nobody ever says you're chasing money. As soon as you say in church, oh, I just started a new business. Oh, I got a new cryptocurrency business. And man, and they're like, oh no, Dr. Breakthrough, man, you are such a man of God, and now you're going after filthy lucre. No, Abraham was not rich. It says very rich. And silver, gold, cattle. What are you talking about? Right? Again, prayer requests on Facebook. Pray for me. I'm going for a job interview. The next week you say, I got the job. Everybody's like, yay, congratulations. Then you say, hey, I'm about to start. Found out about this new thing called Texit Coin, and I'm gonna be working with Dr. Breakthrough and some other folks. And man, I'm putting my money to work for me, and I'm gonna get my money making money. I'm like, oh, you gotta be careful. Oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Well, first of all, you're not me. And secondly, you don't think like me. And thirdly, you don't understand. So again, employee mindset, risk versus reward, okay? Employee mindset focuses so much on the risk, they lose sight of reward. Watch this now. Entrepreneur, kingdompreneur, breakthroughpreneur mindset, we focus so much on the reward, we're willing to deal with the risk because we calculated it. And by the way, when I tell people with crypto, when you get started with crypto, and again, a lot of crypto's bad. It's like there's good and bad to everything. That's why you got to do your due diligence, right? But watch this though. But once you get your things going, you get your initial money, pull that back out, and now you just let the rest run. If anything ever happens. But again, my friend, if you're working with something to calculate risk, like with Texit Coin, I had a guy the other day, he said, Doc, I want to join you with Texit Coin. He said, I see you're doing really, really good with that. I'm like, yeah, man, $3,000 last week, got $3,000 coming in this week. Now, you don't ever have to tell anybody. Your money can make money. But once after 6 weeks, I saw it go from $1.03, Jojo, to it was $1.03, and then it was $1.86, and I had 6 weeks went by. I didn't even know anything about it. I had a back office, whatever else, and the guy Carl showed me, and I looked at my back. I was like, wait a minute, how's this happen? And my $3,000 pack was now worth $9,000. And I'm like, what? And it was liquid. I could cash it out. So of course I cashed some out and wanted to make sure, right? But watch this. So then I found out, well, they got a little referral program. And I was never going to tell anybody, but it was so good. I felt like those lepers, and I'll teach on this, that walked into the camp in abundance, and they said, we don't do well if we don't tell somebody. And so I started telling a few folks, right? And man, it's like, it's crazy. Like, wow. And now I have three people on my team, like Dr. Wilhelmina Ford. She saw a video I did online. She called me, she says, Doc, I saw this thing with you and Myron Golden and then I saw another video of you and Carl Wilton and some Texit Coin. I want to join. I was like, huh? Anyway, make a long story short, she got started. She found out my phone number. She called me. She got started. And now this week, as a matter of fact, not only is her money every day, she's getting more coins added to her account, but now she made $1,000. She earned $1,000 this week for referring a few people. And so next Wednesday, she'll get paid out $1,000. Dr. Haywood Robinson, a pastor on my team, he also made $1,000. So Wednesday, he'll get paid out $1,000. James Money Penny, one of my folks also, he also made $1,000. So he'll get paid out. I'm like, so again, I'm saying our money is making money for us, right? We hired our money to make money for us. So every day at 7:15 Central Standard Time, between 7:15 7:30, more coins are added to my account. And if you don't have an account with Texit Coin, it don't have to be with my team, just find somebody, but get you some of that. My wife does Forex trading. She looked at the charts and she said, baby, get more of this stuff, right? So I had a guy, he's like, okay, he's in the price. I'm joining with you. He said, but I got one question for you, Doc. And I said, what's that? He said, I'm looking at the top 10 cryptos over the last week, and I don't see Texit Coin listed. So I said, that's a great, okay, question. So I text Carl. I said, Carl, the guy asked me a question, and what would you say? Well, Carl sent me back over 6 months. He showed me Texit Coin has been up 959% in 6 months. Over the last year, it's been up 2,013%. He said, now tell him, go look at the other 10, look at the chart and see how they did over the last 6 months and how they did over the last year. And Texit Coin blows everything else away, even Bitcoin. I was like, wow. Which, by the way, I bought Bitcoin when it was $208 a coin. Jojo, all my friends, my preacher friends, and the people in the church thought I was connecting with the Antichrist. That was way back in 2014. It was $208 a coin. Now, when it hit $19,000 a coin, they all started calling me a prophet. Prophet, a profit, Profit, right? And Myron Golden and I, we cashed out of most of them because we didn't know it was going to go way up to over 1,000, 100,000. Anyway, I bought some more, and here's what I got to thinking, because they said it may go to 1 million. Well, if it goes to $1 million a coin, I'm only going to get 10 times my money. But with this Texit Coin thing, it's scheduled to go to $16 a coin by February. So listen, I got it when it was $1.03. It's now $2.14. Every month it's been going up. Every day I get new coins. Every month it goes up. But sometimes it's like every week it goes up in value. Folks, I am telling you, Warren Buffett said, you'll work until you die unless you learn to make money in your sleep. This is one of the easiest things I've ever done in my life because I'm showing people, here's a system that your money will make money for you while you're busy doing like I'm doing, out speaking, while you're busy writing books, while you're busy working your other programs. I'm a #1 income earner, #1 recruiter in 2 other businesses, right? By the way, I'm the #1 income earner, #1 recruiter with Energizer AI. And I made more money in the last 2 weeks of promoting Texit Coin than I have in the last 6 months with Energizer AI. Now, I'm using Energizer AI to get people to sign up in Texit Coin because I'm giving them what? A complimentary vacation or cruise, right? So they both. So I'm telling you, you gotta learn just to be smart, to be a what? A CLO, Chief Leveraging Officer. So anyway, I don't know how I got off on that, but it was a good one. All right, and you got to understand delayed gratification. Okay, I'm stopping on this, but people fail because they settle for what they want now instead of what they want most. Ooh. See, they're willing to choose what they want now for what they want most. So some of you know, during this 9K to 90K, we've been fasting and praying. And of course, that's helped our health even, so this is day of our fast, number 70, day 77. So I got 13 days to go. Day 77. So we've not had one bite of food at all. Been fasting and praying for everybody going through this. And part of this process is me connecting, also learning about some things and putting different things into place. But I'm telling you, I'm already, well, anyway, I'm already way over 9,000 with the Texit Coin. So I'm telling all of you, I challenge you to check that out, do that. All right, God bless you. We're going to stop here. So peace, breakthrough, and divine increase. Tune in next week for number 8.